Hey, what's up, everybody? Pat here, great for recovering alcoholic and addict, just like every day. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe, leave the video a like, drop me a comment, and by all means, share it with anybody who might get something out of it. I'm going to get right into it today, guys. We're going to go with the just for today and a meditation again today. I really like the topic, and guys, I encourage you all to look into these and also the daily reflections. I read them here at home, whether whether I go to a meeting or I read them for myself every day. And they're just fantastic lessons, and it's a great way to keep yourself up on where you're at with your recovery program. So that being said, the joy within. Since the beginning of our recovery, we have found that joy does not come from material things, but comes from within ourselves. Some of us came to recovery impoverished by our disease. Everything we owned had been lost to addiction. Once we got clean, we put all of our energy into recovering our material possessions, only to feel even more dissatisfied with our lives. Other members have sought to ease their emotional pain with material things. A potential date rejected us, let's go buy something. The dog died, let's go to the mall. The problem is emotional fulfillment cannot be bought, not even on installments. There's nothing inherently wrong with material possessions. They can make life more comfortable, convenient, or even luxurious, but they cannot fix us. Where then can true joy be found? We know the answer is from within. When have we found joy? Well, when we have offered ourselves in service of others without expectation or reward. We found true warmth and fellowship with family, friends, in our community. And we found the surest source of satisfaction in our conscious contact with the God of our understanding. Inner peace, sense of direction, and emotional security do not come from material things, but from within. And the affirmation is just for today. True joy cannot be bought. I will seek joy from within. Guys, that's absolutely huge, right? And that's something I had to learn the hard way, because for many, many years I was one of those people that always said, well, I'll be happy when I get this new job, or when I pay this off, when I get off probation, when I'm no longer on parole, when I have my new relationship, when I get out of this relationship, when I get my license back, and none of it ever made me happy. I was never happy. I was just constantly in a state of, and of course, I was also still in active addiction, so yeah, I was never going to find joy. And here's the thing, even in that state, though I didn't know true joy, and that's what I know today, guys, true joy, I had chosen to try to be happy, to be kind, and just to be upbeat, and that, I think, was a big deal that helped me get to where I am today. So I feel like I had a little leg up, as much as I've been through, the mud, the muck, and some serious shit over the years. One thing I loved is the fact that I had chosen to try to rise above, and it gave me the ambition and a lot of strength. It took immense strength to try to be happy in that miserable world. And at the end, guys, I couldn't even pretend anymore. I couldn't see. I tried to be outwardly nice because I never wanted to burden to anybody else for my own bad decisions. But again, I certainly didn't, succeed very well in that either. I brought misery everywhere I went, particularly for anybody that cared about me, because they had to watch me poison myself on a regular basis. But that being said, I was fortunate enough to understand when I got into this recovery that my happiness is not only my responsibility, but it's also my choice, and that's a huge thing, guys. Now, when you're in a really bad spot, that can sound like a very disempowering statement because you feel like you're doing something wrong. And I'm not here to call you out. You're not that you're doing something wrong, but you have to understand that no amount of material possessions, nobody else's accolades of you are going to make you happy. Like, they might give you a warm feeling, a warm and fuzzy good feeling, and that's great. But you've got to be happy for yourself, from yourself, and by yourself. And if you can do that, then everything else, again, like I said, will fall into place. You got to understand, guys. Instead of being out there chasing shiny trinkets and the next accolade or the next award, and again, I'm not saying not to go out and apply yourself, but apply yourself, and you should want to do the best you possibly can for you, for the feeling that it brings you, because that's what matters, guys. True joy and true goodness radiates from within. So that's what you should be working on. And again, It is a sign. And again, I'm somebody that preaches constantly, help others, help others, help others, and I'm actually going to talk about that in a second. But you got to understand, you can't help others to the best of your ability unless you're taking full advantage of helping yourself. It's a selfish program. It's a selfish life. And you've got to make sure that your needs are met, and you have every right to do that. You deserve to have your needs met. Every one of us does. We are human beings, not human workings. Okay, we're not human doings. You're not worthy because you did something. You're worthy because you are who you are. And again, if you know you're doing something wrong, cut it out. Forgive yourself, make amends where necessary, and move on from it. But just try to be the best person you can, because that's what you should be. Like, every one of us should aspire to be the best people we possibly can. It doesn't mean that everybody does. I understand that. But again, you're not responsible for anybody else. The only thing you're responsible for is yourself, obviously maybe your children. But you want to lead by example, right? Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and it makes you feel good about who you are. And if you do that, you will find joy. And that's the most amazing thing today, guys. And it's funny because I've managed to find joy. And it's one thing people, and I don't mind using myself as an example in this aspect, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. But one thing I've consistently heard day in and day out, literally every day of my recovery, is that I stand out for my positive attitude, my ability to stay upbeat and to deal with stress in a positive manner. Because that's life, guys, and a lot of that is the culmination of having decided to try to enjoy myself, try to be happy, and try to be kind through hell, right? And now all of a sudden I'm getting a little bit of success, and nothing crazy, but things are going in my favor more often than not. And a big part of that is because I've earned it. Like, I'm doing the work, I'm trying to be the best person I can, every way, shape, or form. Now, let me give you a prime example of that. I talked a little bit Monday night about some things I had to take care of for the state of Rhode Island that stemmed from an incident back in 1997. And again, I beat the case, but I never cleared everything up, all the requirements to come with it, as crazy as that may seem. So I had to go down, I had to pay like $1,700. I got to take a class, I got to do some community service. And they're allowing me to do the community service up here. Now, at any other point in my life, I'd go find somebody I know that could sign off a paper and I would bullshit it. But I'm like, no, I don't want to do that today. I don't mind going and doing community service. Like, I want to find something that I believe in and go volunteer my time and be a part of the community and give back a little bit, because I'm incredibly fortunate. Things are going really well in my life today. And I do feel like I would love to help somebody else out. I mean, you guys know by now, it's a big part of who I am. It's what I do. So that being said, I looked up online to see where I could do community service here in Somerville, and I found a couple of places. The first place I went to, I didn't have real good luck with. Did people in a meeting, never got back to me. I left my contact info. But the second place I looked was a place called Project Bread, which, come to find out, is a food pantry and a soup kitchen here in Somerville. I wasn't even aware they had one. Now, I went and signed up today. I'm already signed up. I'm starting there Monday, and here's the thing. I only owe 15 hours community service, but I actually went through the extra step of setting up a full volunteer profile, because I have every intention of at least weekly, if not a couple times a week, going and giving a few hours. And they do at least one hot meal a week at night. So I can certainly make myself available for that. So I'll go and either help cook or help serve or help clean and do whatever. But and here's the thing, I'm so excited for that, because A, it's something I believe in, and B, it's something I've experienced. When I spent 3.5 years homeless, living on the streets of Waltham, one of the reasons I stayed in Waltham, and one of the things that kept me alive, was the fact that they got a lot of resources for the homeless there, and part of that was a soup kitchen that I ate dinner in almost every night. And they had a day program where I had lunch, and like, it's one thing about the city of Waltham is, you won't starve there if you're willing to get up and walk the different various places where they're willing to feed you. But like I said, I always appreciated that, and it was actually pretty good. They actually took pretty good care of you, and they were super kind people. And there's a lot of bullshit going on there, because people in the homeless community aren't always at the best of their, they're not always on their best behavior, so people are constantly getting banned and people show up drunk and causing a scene. But they did the best they could to keep things comfortable and safe, and they fed you a good meal, and they were just super kind volunteers. And it's something I always said, I always wanted to go back and volunteer there. Well, now I've got an opportunity. There's one right here in my hometown, and it's right up the road, and I'm thrilled. I actually literally left there today, guys, feeling elated because I know there's a position there for me. They need the help. They got plenty of opportunities for me there to volunteer. They do the regular food pantry well, so Monday morning at 9 o'clock, they have a truck show up with 5 tons of food. And, there's a lot of volunteers, older ladies, and, so I'm like, you know what? First thing right off the bat, it's the hardest job they have. It's the first one I sign up for. I'm like, well, let me show up and help you guys unload the truck. And the guy looked right at me. He's like, really? Yeah, of course. I'm like, it's got to be the hardest job you got. And I'm sure it's got to, got to be the toughest now, you guys. I'm healthy. I go to the gym. I work every day. I'm no stranger to hard work. I'll be more than happy to. And the guy's like, wow. So I really like, like the way you think. And I like that about me today, guys. I try to take into consideration. Instead of looking for the easy out and the quickest way forward, I look where I can make the biggest impact. And that's a beautiful thing, right? And that's the difference, guys. This is why I try to use these examples, because I understand that's where the blessings come in, guys. Any one of us can do the bare minimum and get by, and you'll get what you need done. But when you really step up and you look at every situation and see how you can make the biggest impact, where you do the most good, not where it's going to be easier for you, not where it's most convenient. Like I'm fortunate in that respect. I work for myself. I can make my own hours, and and if there's a work emergency, I'll have to reschedule. But whenever possible, when I'm doing something like that, that's what I try to look at. Where can I make the biggest impact for my time? Where can I lead by example in every situation? And that's literally how I try to live my life. And again, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm a saint and I'm out there, changing the world. But I'm doing the best I can with the circumstances I have, and I continue on a regular basis to look at my opportunities and try to make the best decisions for the community around me. Whether I make out in it or whether I'm just helping somebody else out, it doesn't matter to me. Like, I'm thrilled. I'm actually really looking forward to getting to know the people there, getting to know some of the people in the community that need help, and seeing where else I can make a difference. But I'm so excited that I found that resource today, and I truly believe that God put that community service in my field of energy, because it was an opportunity for me to step up and make a difference right here in my hometown, and get to know other volunteers. And these are the people I like to be surrounded with today, people that are doing the right things. Because unfortunately, I know guys I work with, people who I work for, and I had to cut out all the contacts I had that were personal because they're all drug users. So now I can start to get in with a crowd that chooses to go and volunteer with their time. Like, those are the people I want to hang out with. That's what I want to have my tribe of people to be. People that are giving and trying to make a difference in the world. And I love that today, guys. It's funny, I was watching a video last night, and I noticed that I don't watch TV anymore, but I watch some videos here and there, and I noticed that I gravitate towards, like, law enforcement videos, and I thought it was for the criminal aspect. But no, I actually quite enjoy seeing them getting taken down, and I'm like, you know what? It's a shame I didn't take the time to get to know myself when I was a kid, because I would have gone into military law enforcement or something like that, and I would have excelled in it. But again, I'm not gonna fret on that today. But I understand that that's the type of thing I like to give where I can. So I'm going to find more opportunities where I can step out and I can volunteer. And a soup kitchen / food pantry is a fantastic way to do it, because those are people that directly need it, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it. And whether they do or not, I know what I'm doing is the right thing, and it makes me feel good about the person I am, because I know today that joy comes from within. It's not about going out. And here's the thing, guys. I have managed to put a little bit of money together, and I want to save that and use that appropriately. I'm buying properties and setting myself up for the future. So I know I don't spend money frivolously. But you know what? I don't mind going and picking up stuff that I need when I need it, and I don't mind spending the money on things that I have to spend it on. But I know I don't go buy silly things, because I know that's not where the joy comes from. And guys, I'm happier now than I've ever been in my life, and it's because of the things that I'm doing. It is because of the way that I look at myself. It's because I'm able to take action on a daily basis that make me proud of who I am. I challenge myself to step up and take leaps of faith and just be the best person I can. And then I follow through and I take action on every opportunity, every idea I get. And that is what's made the difference as far as me being a person who I can love, who I can be proud of, who I have self-respect for. And I couldn't ask for much more than that, guys. I mean, there's so many more beautiful experiences in my life that are coming, and I'm looking forward to every one. But at the same time, I'm not putting my demands on anything. I'm not putting time limits on anything. I'm just looking at the opportunities. And literally, guys, at any other point in life, I would look at community service like, oh, geez, I have to go do that. Instead, I said, no, let me see what I can do with this. Let me see if I can make a difference somehow. Let me see if I can use this to further myself and my life and make me feel better about who I am. And lo and behold, I was so happy when I decided to stop by Project Bread today. And it's funny, I showed up and they're like, "Oh, get right in line." I'm like, "No, I'm actually here to volunteer." And in the past, guys, I would have gotten in line first to see how much free food I could have gotten and then walked away and then tried to come back and volunteer. And I don't have to do that today, guys. I'm already fortunate enough. I'm not starving. I've actually never been more comfortable than I am today in my life, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. But it continues to expand and get better because I understand that being happy is my choice and my responsibility. So I do things that make me happy. I try to, engage with the community around me in a positive way where I can uplift somebody else because I understand when I see somebody else happy because of something I did, that makes me feel good about who I am. And that is where joy comes from, guys. Joy comes from the way that we speak to ourselves, the way that we engage with the world around us, the actions that we take, and whether or not we do things that make us proud and happy with who we are. It's not a crazy hard thing to figure out if you take the time to pay attention. And that's half the most important lesson that I've learned is to pay attention to that around me. I used to ignore everything at my own peril. Now I pay attention to as much as I humanly can. I take in everything I possibly can. I filter as much as I can into a positive light. And I try to stay with the winners and the people doing the things that I'm proud to do. And it's making me proud of who I am, and it's making my life shine in the most beautiful ways. Guys, that is the lesson today. Guys, thank you so very much. The channel is growing steadily. I'm in awe, and I appreciate it guys so much. I couldn't do this without all you guys. It's steadily growing. It makes me incredibly proud. It makes me look forward to coming home and researching and doing the work and donating my time and doing this channel. And I love each and every one of you. Always, guys, always remember, God loves you. I love you. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next one.